Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how to put together a wedding bouquet. This is using Gypsophila and it could be for either a bridesmaid or a bride, and I'm going to be using the spiral technique to create it. Now I would usually recommend for a bridesmaid that you have between 5 to 7 stems, and for a bride between 10 to 12. Now this is very dependent on the variety and the grade quality of Gypsophila that you buy. I've actually got a large headed one here that's top grade, so lots of breaks on a stem, and obviously that will go that little bit further, so you do need to just use your judgment when deciding on how many stems you require. So apart from the Gypsophila, which is my only plant material for this design, I have the 2 different colours of twine, green twine for my binding point and natural twine to decorate the handle when I'm finished, my carbon blade scissors and some 12mm clear anchor tape. I've cut all of my stems of Gypsophila down ready to use. So they're in more manageable sized pieces, but still quite lengthy. Cut them be quite clever in how you trim them, because you've got several breaks. So when you cut them, ensure that you do allow enough stem to create the handle of the bouquet. So starting in my right hand, my first piece of Gypsophila, adding the next piece at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to build up the design, creating that spiral format, and twisting as I go. Now, by keeping the stem spiraled, it keeps that binding point neat and tidy, and it makes the bouquet more comfortable to hold. If you allow the stems to the binding point to travel, you've got crossed stems all the way up the handle, and it's quite cumbersome to hold, and also it doesn't give you the even distribution of stems throughout the design that the spiral technique allows. So just continue placing the stems at a 45-degree angle, and then what you'll find as you start to build the stems up, the previous stem that you've placed will leave a natural gap where you place the next stem. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So this was my last stem, so you've got a gap there, and that's where I'm going to insert the next one, still at a 45-degree angle, but you'll see that it nestles happily in that gap that's been created. Now this technique can obviously be employed for using other plant materials as well. You don't just have to use it for a Gypsophila bouquet. In actual fact, it's one of the techniques, one of the fundamental techniques, I would say, of creating any style of bouquet if it's hand tied. And adding my last piece, hold the bouquet away from you and check you're happy with the shape and the profile. You want a curve, you don't want it to be completely flat on the top, you want a nice domed feel to it, so that when you look at it from the side, the profile is pleasing from every angle. So using the green twine, I'm just going to bind that tying point. I put the twine around the stems twice just to give added security, and then trim that cutting it nice and neatly. So I think this illustrates better how the spiral stems work. And then to cover my mechanics and for added security, just going to place some 12mm anchor tape around that green twine. Now the beauty of this design is it's completely versatile. It can be used as a bouquet to carry throughout the ceremony, but then it doubles up as a table decoration afterwards if you want it to be, or indeed you could use it to decorate the venue throughout. So hold the bouquet in your left hand and measure 2.5 centimetres below your hand to give you the handle length. And then if you've got any ugly stems like that one, just trim that to make it more aesthetically pleasing. And then finally, to trim the handle, I'm not using any pins on this occasion, literally just the natural twine. So in a similar vein to how we did the buttonhole, place one end just below the flowers and before the binding point starts. And then bind the twine down the stems, making sure that each twist is as close as possible to the previous one. So you've got no gaps in between the twine. And continue that for as long as you want to down the stem. And obviously be guided by the brief that you've been given by your customer. And then once you're happy, bind it back up, the handle, to meet the loose piece that you'd left. And then tie that together. And you can either just leave it as a knot if you wish to, or on this occasion, I'm just going to do a delicate bow. And there you have it. Now you don't have to use the twine as I have. You could use any manner of finishing touches, satin ribbon, lace, hessian, whatever works with the theme in general of the event. I hope this has given you an insight into the techniques required to create this really simple design. And I hope it's given you the confidence to create hand ties using the spiral technique with gyp, or indeed you could add other flowers. I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.